Quality Literacy Instruction in Juvenile Court Schools, an Evaluation Study by Scott Pierce. In a 2015 report by the United States Department of Justice, it was recorded that little over 48,000 students are incarcerated in the United States. Of those juvenile students incarcerated, 55 to 61% of those students have a reading impairment. Many of them, as much as 30%, read below the fourth grade reading level. Numerous studies indicate that the school-to-prison pipeline is perpetuated by low literacy skills and academic performance of incarcerated juveniles. Furthermore, more studies have shown that with the right literacy interventions, it has a direct impact on recidivism and reversing the school-to-prison pipeline. For this study, the organization that the researcher chose was Central Valley Juvenile Court Schools. Central Valley Juvenile Court Schools serves approximately 200 to 250 students in the Central Valley of California. The stakeholder group of focus will be the Central Valley Juvenile Court School teachers who are responsible for literacy instruction. The organizational goal was to increase student SBAC ELA performance from 4% to 9% proficiency by May of 2019. In order to help reach that organizational goal, the stakeholder goal was to develop and implement 6 literacy-based units of study by January of 2019. The methodology of this study chosen by the researcher was a qualitative study utilizing a transformative model. This study included interviews of the Central Valley Juvenile Court School teachers, observation with field notes of the Central Valley Juvenile Court School teachers' classrooms. Triangulation was carried out by comparing the self-reported responses of the teachers from the interviews, observation field notes, and literature. The results and findings of this study were organized according to the research questions that guided the data collection and analysis process. Furthermore, the researcher utilized the Clark and Estes gap analysis framework model, where knowledge, motivation, and organizational influences were explored in relation to the stakeholder goal in order to identify emerging themes from the data. The first research question of the study asked, to what extent are 100% of Central Valley Juvenile Court School teachers developing and implementing 6 literacy-based units of study? 3 themes emerged from analysis of the data. The first theme is that the Central Valley Juvenile Court School teachers understand the need for a balanced approach for literacy instruction. The second theme that emerged from the data analysis is that the Central Valley Juvenile Court School teachers struggle with a long-term approach for literacy instruction in order to meet the needs of their students. And finally, the third theme to emerge from the data analysis of the first research question is that the Central Valley Juvenile Court School teachers need clear directives on the Central Valley Juvenile Court School literacy goals. The second research question of the study was, what are the knowledge, motivation, and organizational influences relating to achieving the stakeholder goal? We will now look at the knowledge influences and the motivation influences that emerged from the data analysis. 3 themes emerged from data analysis of the knowledge influencers. The first is that Central Valley Juvenile Court School teachers need knowledge of appropriate literacy skills that secondary students need. The second theme was that Central Valley Juvenile Court School teachers need knowledge of interactive instruction. And finally, the Central Valley Juvenile Court School teachers need knowledge of how to connect to student prior knowledge and personal experiences. Data analysis of motivational influences resulted in 2 themes. 1, the Central Valley Juvenile Court School teachers demonstrated a strong belief in their abilities to develop and implement literacy-based units of study. And second, Central Valley Juvenile Court School teachers attribute the success or failure of developing and implementing literacy-based units of study to their own efforts. The third research question asked, What is the interaction between the organizational culture and context and the stakeholder knowledge and motivation? Data analysis revealed two emerging themes from the self-reported responses from the participants. The first theme to emerge from the data analysis for question 3 was that Central Valley Juvenile Court School teachers desire professional learning opportunities that address serving students in the juvenile court school setting. The second emergent theme from the data analysis was that Central Valley Juvenile Court School teachers desire regular, effective feedback on their instructional practices and efforts in the classroom. Recommendations to address the themes that emerge from the data analysis are based on the New World Kirkpatrick model. This includes 4 levels of learning evaluation, which focuses on the results, the behavior, learning, and reaction of the stakeholders involved. Recommendations include that the Central Valley Juvenile Court School teachers need professional learning opportunities to address gaps in their knowledge of appropriate literacy skills students need and instructional practices. Furthermore, the Central Valley Juvenile Court School administration needs to provide clear communication of the Central Valley Juvenile Court School vision and goals for literacy instruction and provide teachers with effective feedback on their instructional practices and efforts. Looking back, the researcher feels it would have been beneficial to have had a larger participant base, perhaps even looking at 2 organizations. With a larger participant base, the researcher could have utilized a mixed methods approach, which would have included a survey and focus groups in order to have a larger base of data to analyze the problem of practice. The next steps for the researcher are to take this study and make it a statewide study that would include all 74 juvenile court school districts in the state of California. The goal then would be to publish the results of the statewide study and create a model literacy program for juvenile court schools. It is with much gratitude that the researcher would like to thank Dr. Data, Dr. Robles, and Dr. Pikus. Your mentorship, your support, and your guidance through this study are invaluable, and I am forever grateful for all the work that you put into this effort. Thank you.